I first had the pleasure of meeting Steve some 11 years ago when we were both on the committee of the Melville Chamber of Commerce. Later, Steve was elevated to the position of president, and I was also elevated to the position of vice president. Steve was there in his own right as a business owner, and I was there as deputy mayor representing the city of Cockburn. And I must say it was one of the more impressive times over the Chamber's past 30 years during that cycle of Steve's leadership. I think we all go through life and do a fair amount of voluntary work. I think most Australians in general do a fair bit. And if you're like Steve and myself, you end up going sometimes from one committee meeting to the next. However, what I can say is that being a part of the Chamber during the time Steve was president was enjoyable, definitely hard work, but certainly challenging. He had this unique ability of being able to get through to the rest of the committee what he wanted and what the ideals he wanted the Chamber to adopt and adapt to. The Chamber at that time was just so vibrant. There was just so much happening. There were evening events, there were morning events. The Chamber was going through a record number of members. You had businesses doing business with other members. And under Stephen's guidance, he also wanted the Chamber to be a little bit more. He wanted it to have a voice in the wider business community on business issues. I mean, the only thing missing on the guy was the red cape. He was really like Superman, tackling issue after issue. One day he'd be tackling the Council for Business about parking. The next day he'd be tackling the Premier's office, and the day after he'd be tackling the Prime Minister's office. As to why business, as an example, got left out with the lack of the LPG subsidies in commercial vehicles. We were able to engage with the media during that period in a big way, and we became somewhat as the go-to voice for business. Cockburn at that time was going through some huge development stakes with Latitude 32, the expansion of the Australian Marine Complex and the Common Use Facility, and a host of other small issues stemming from other commercial developments in the region. Like I was saying earlier, you go on to committee meetings and there are volunteers on them, and most of the time their hearts are in the right place. And thankfully there are enough people there to make the committees work. And I can say without doubt that Steve was highly motivated and very passionate about small business. I think in many respects he probably put the operations of the Chamber of Commerce ahead of his own business at that particular time. In short, the guy was quite legendary.